Greetings, hello friends, Mari Smith here, International Human Design School certified analyst, and I have also been trained in the BG5 Career and Business Consulting, awaiting submitting my final project. I'm currently taking OC16 large group consulting and the profit potential coaching with this beautiful lady on the screen here with me. Welcome, welcome, Banu. It is wonderful to see you in this capacity.
Yeah, well, my pleasure being here. Thank you for the invitation, Mari.
Absolutely. So you are one of the strong leadership faculty teachers at the BG5 Business Institute, and that's human design for business. And we were just talking before we started the recording here that you actually teach a large number, the foundations, the certification, the
Yes.
OC16, the profit potential. You're like, I do it all except cycles.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. And then you've got your whole other business that we'll talk about in a moment. Let's start for our listeners and viewers here today. I know you have a strong background in corporate, you used to work for Microsoft. And I really would love to know, like, when was it that you first encountered human design, or was it human design, or was it more the BG5 side? Just give us a journey of where Banu and human design collided and the impact that's had on your life.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's been about 10 years that I found human design.
Wow.
I was being trained as a mind coach and a breathing facilitator. So it was two things merged into one coaching program. And there I heard about human design. There were a couple of days like we were given high level information. And when we were looking into those, I was like, I'm so drawn to this information. I want to know more. There's something here. And then, of course, I just start doing my own reading, my rhythm of understanding what this is. And then along the way, it started really helping me understand myself, the children, and then at work as well. And then I said, what can I put, how can I contribute to this beautiful knowledge that's just drawing me in? And I had worked in corporates for a very long time. It had been 15 years almost back then. Said, I know work and I know business. So this is what I
Mm.
can personally contribute to this information. So I just went in and started studying BG5. So I never went through IHDS or the personal side of things. I'm like directly into the business side of things.
That makes sense, of course, because that's your background, your knowledge,
Yes.
and I know you are a 6-2 advisor, is that right? Or
Oh, yes,
projector in the
yes,
human design
correct.
language. And your cross, if I remember correctly, is that alignment?
It's dedication. It's in
Dedication.
the dedication, yes. But it's one of the variations of that cross.
Yes, because when I first started taking classes with you, I looked up your cross, and you're a born teacher. We share this structuring, the channel of individuality in common, and just this
Oh,
ability to be able to articulate and explain and teach. And that's for your particular incarnation. It's perfect, the path you ended up choosing. So this moment that you encountered human design, were you said you were in corporate? Was it Microsoft
oh
you were
yes,
working
I
for?
was working at Microsoft. I was a sales manager back then,
Oh,
managing multiple partners in different countries. And I had a full-time job, and working for Microsoft is more than a full-time job. It's like a very busy company,
yeah.
which was great. I was very proud to work for Microsoft for 13 years. I worked there before I left corporate.
Mhm.
I had a very busy job, but this was just drawing me in so much, right? I studied in the evenings. I got my consultant certifications, and along the way, the institute. Uh, in the classes there was like a separate event. We're going to need more teachers because more and more people are becoming interested in this, and this is by invitation only, but if you're interested, let us know, type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And then there I had found my incarnation cross as well. And when I read it, Maury, it gave me the chills. I'm like, I
Oh,
think, BG5 is what I'm here to teach,
oh,
because that's what it says, right? Teaching the same thing over and over,
that's
but
right.
bringing transformation into people's lives, helping them. And it gave me the chills. I think this is it. And then I was invited later to teach for the institute as well. And for many years, I did my full-time job, and then I was teaching in the evenings. I could only do one certification a semester back then. But I continued for a long time, and then I decided to leave, and now I have more time to teach more classes.
I'm curious as an advisor because I imagine a lot of the projectors, advisors, about 22.5%, I believe, of the world are in a place of pushing themselves hard to try to keep up with the builders, the generative life force, 2/3 of the planet. Did you find kind of in your probably towards the tail end of your 13 years of, or maybe throughout the whole 13 years with Microsoft, did you experience any kind of exhaustion or burnout, or did you feel like you were really overdoing it for your physical body?
Oh, definitely. Yes. It's a corporate environment. I was a sales director when I left, so sales is high, it's very high pressure. You
Pressure.
got to deliver. I happen to manage a countries in Middle East and Africa. Something is happening everywhere. A bomb here, something happens there. You still have to deliver the numbers. So I was always under high pressure during my time, 25 years in corporate that I did. But then I have open willpower. I had a lot of things to prove to myself, right? Always doing more and more and more.
Mm.
I raised my children along the way, and it had a cost, of course. I had health problems. I didn't go to burnout because along the way, like 15 years into my corporate, I had found human design. So there was light for me to start understanding, why am I doing these things that I think I should do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my father is also a military officer, so working very hard and achieving things is part of my conditioning, and he was my
Mm.
role model.
Mm.
So, there was a lot in there for me to understand first for myself around, why am I doing all of these things? They brought me a lot of, success. I climbed up the ladder and everything. And I'm so glad I found BG5 along the way for me to understand, okay, and start questioning, why am I doing these things? And should I do these things? So eventually that adventure of about, 8 years after my experimentation is when I had the courage to leave. I knew I
Mm.
should have left. I had a feeling it was there was going to be a time for me to leave the corporate because that's not where my heart was.
Mm.
But in the end, sometimes we say you should be in this environment for experiment or to learn something. So that 25 years is well spent because how could I have taught BG5 from a business perspective if I didn't have that background?
Very
So,
true. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, just to clarify, I heard you saying about children. How many? Did you say five?
yeah, we have four.
Oh, four children.
We have four.
Yeah.
They're grown up now, so
Of course, but yeah, during your early years, that's a lot to
Oh
take
yeah.
on. And I see you have the 29 hanging trait on your sacral of gate of saying yes.
And I also have the 27, so trying to take care of everyone.
Yeah, and the 40, the love of work there. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Just I'm going to just pop your chart on the screen for others to see so that we can
Oh yes,
people
that's
can
me.
have a
No motors
visual.
defined.
What's that?
No motors defined, so not that
No
much energy,
motors.
but
Yeah.
I always had energy somehow, maybe amplifying the energy around
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm. A lot
Um,
of hanging traits on the emotional
oh yes,
intelligence.
yes,
Fascinating. Fascinating.
yeah.
So, and then did you encounter, as a sixth line being, did you encounter human design prior? You must have prior to your Chiron, maybe
Yes, yes. No,
around.
my Chiron is in like 4 years, I think.
Oh,
And so I'm in my introspection space now.
yeah.
And I've done a lot of work there, and I still feel like I should do more. So there's a side of me being a 6-2 as well. Not there's a side of me that just wants to sit on a mountain and not see anyone and just do some meditation and be in nature.
You're on
And
the
then there's
roof.
me being called out to everything.
Yes. Yes. So,
Yeah,
yeah, naturally talented. Well,
yeah.
I
But
love
can
it.
I
So,
contribute one thing, Marie? Because you asked
yes.
about like which stage in life. So it was very interesting when I thought I was ready to leave my corporate role, and so we made a country change in between, and I brought my children to Luxembourg where my parents were living. So we were doing some family reunification here. But I hadn't taken the cycles course, and it was just along those times that I was taking my cycles course. And when I brought my children to Luxembourg so they could start school here, coincides with my Uranus opposition. So it was my 40-year milestone that I made a country move. The
Oh,
exact
wow.
same month is when I brought the children over. And that started me, moving into a different phase of my life, leaving the corporate, doing my own thing, different country. So the cycles information is fascinating.
So, as a specialist in the BG5, the business application, business and career application of the human design system, you specialize in both the Penta side with the small business and then the OC16 with the large business. Help the listeners here, viewers, understand like what kind of impact can this knowledge, this BG5 knowledge, have on transforming businesses really of any size.
Oh, there's so much goodness that we can offer to the world as consultants with this knowledge. I think it starts on different levels. We can really help individuals in the business world be first aligned to who they are, so they're not running after all these shoulds, that they think they should do, and then maybe burn themselves out, or maybe they're in jobs that they don't like. They're not even aware of that. So we can bring a lot of awareness and alignment to people in the business world, anyone. And working with leaders also is very important because then maybe they will trickle it down to their organization.
Right.
So at the individual level, definitely a lot of impact. And how my business kind of flows is I would work with a leader or somebody important in the company. They are so awed by the information personally that they want to take it to their business. So then they
Mm.
want me to work with their team. And then we start working at the team level. And when I do the work with teams, um, not only do they understand themselves, and I always like taking a positive approach to things because business world pushes so much about all these things that you're not, that you should be. Yes,
Right.
improvement areas. What should you do to be better? Take this course, do this, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of that, doing more and more and not accepting yourself as who you are. But we
Mm.
can show people what the potential that they have. And if they just built on that, instead
Mm.
of trying to do all those things that they're not strong in, there's a lot of value in that. So when we work with teams, people understand how they flow better and their strengths, and then they understand each other. So it takes away the judgment, why can't this person do this? Or why do we have this problem? So there's so much beauty and a lot of ahas when I work with teams. Like, oh, I can see that. And immediate improvement in how that interaction in the team happens and the bonding. Like, okay, this person is a unique being and they don't have to be like me. And we can still collaborate, or work or contribute to the team together. There's so much goodness that we can do, and it impacts the business results in the end. We can impact the bottom line because humans are the biggest component of a business being successful.
Right, right, exactly, Banu. So this is like the kind of the enticement factor, if you will, going into a group, a company of any size, really, that if as a BG5 career and business consultant or OC16 with the large groups, to be able to kind of almost dangle that carrot and say, this information could help you become more profitable. It will impact the bottom line when you have the right people in the right roles. Could you help me understand? I remember in the BG5 Business Institute, I believe that they used to call it an engineer. So it's a career and business engineer because
Engineering, yes.
we're
Uh-huh.
literally putting people into the right spots, filling in the gaps or
Yeah.
teaching them how to deal with gaps. Can you explain more about what does it mean to engineer a group or a company or a
Yeah, so
team?
engineering happens when we do something from scratch. So it's like either the penta or that organization. Yes, it can be a penta, it can be a larger organization. Either they're lacking something, there's missing energy within that group, and we can see that based on the penta theory or the OC16 knowledge and recommend how that gap can be filled. So we're engineering it in a way. Next time they're going to bring a person, they look for that skill in that person, for example. No, they do their own thing. We're not going to just pull in somebody because they have a certain business skill in their chart.
Mm-hmm.
They do their work, they scan the CVs, the interviews, and then at that moment we can look into the charts and help them integrate the right person, right? Or
Mm.
sometimes businesses want to grow. So you have one small business that grows maybe into a partnership, then to a Penta, then to an OC16. So what's the healthy way of doing that? We can engineer that with the information that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
Rob was very particular about this. He had suggestions, right? Keep it stable for some time. Don't go to 5, go to 6 people because it creates more stability and how the pentas and the energy is flow. So he had a lot of suggestions. Of course, it's
Mm-hmm.
open to experimentation. Yes. So we always
Right.
must run it with the client as to how they feel around is it going to help them. But we can do a lot in structuring the new business and plugging the right people. So that's how we can engineer.
So really empowering them, helping them, setting them up for more
Yeah,
success, if you will.
exactly.
Um, let's say that we have listening in, tuning in here, folks who are curious about the application of human design to the business world, and they're thinking about a possible career. So maybe they're like you, they're currently in corporate and not feeling satisfied, maybe feeling burned out, or just feeling like there's got to be a better way to use their life force. And
Yeah.
this really lights them up. Paint a picture for us of what kind of career path could someone expect if they start to really immerse themselves in the BG5 studies.
Yeah. So I think the biggest part will be giving them encouragement to be themselves first by
Mm,
understanding, because then you understand like, is this corporate job that I'm doing, is it for me? Because sometimes what you learn by understanding your design can really help you stay in your career. So,
yeah.
like, if I hadn't understood my design and everything I understood about BG5, I don't think I could have done what I did at Microsoft. It helped me so
Mm,
much be a bit better people manager, be a better person to myself, understand my capabilities and where I'm putting my hand up too much, you know. So all
yeah.
of those things they can understand. So for initially, first they can understand what will give them that success or satisfaction or peace, right? Maybe
Mhm.
they will choose to stay, or maybe they
Yeah.
just change a job and they choose to stay in the corporate, which is a possibility. Yeah? It's not about leaving or choosing another path.
Hmm.
But what happens is when people start understanding their design and how it works, they're more interested, and then they want to go into certification, which is actually where we
Hmm.
teach how to work with others, be a certified consultant, and learn about pentadynamics. That's also something we cover in certification. So if the person is interested and there's the energy flow there, then they can go into certification, which means they can be a consultant to work with others.
Hmm. Hmm.
And some people will do it apart from their corporate jobs. I have such students, they were so interested, they become consultants. Maybe it's something for the future or something they do because they love it as a part of, on the side of their corporate job, their day-to-day job, which I did for some time. And then they can go deeper and deeper in the advanced certifications. And some people can choose to make BG5 consultancy part of what they do full time in time.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
transition into being consultants for businesses, which is also a possibility. So honoring their understanding first and then honoring their own decision making is the key actually as they go through this process.
Beautifully stated. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I think it was Ra that actually said, that the BG5, the business application of human design, was really a huge part of the future because it's my mind wants to say kind of like easy entry, if you will, because you're appealing to that part of the human that wants to be more materially successful. And so it's a wonderful way to kind of, I call it like the back doorway to reach more people to help them individually transform. And like you just explained about how this possible application or career path or shift in their business would be first really knowing themselves, especially for the two-thirds of the world that are the builder, the generator types. And I'd like to just insert in here just a little bit about the profit potential coaching, because that was something I started a couple of years ago at the Institute, and I just love this application. And I was thrilled that the Institute recently brought it back into the curriculum with you as the teacher and Michael Brown. I had to giggle I think it was yesterday at the time of this recording, that you said Michael, who's very, very experienced BG5 instructor as well. And I had a lovely interview with him the other week. And you're like, you're basically my teacher's assistant.
Because I forgot to turn on the recording. I'm like, Mike, you're not used to this, but please remind me if I forget that it's the TA's job.
We got the
And we were
recording.
giggling.
Yeah, and it was yeah, because he's so experienced and with so much depth and richness, and
I'm
literally
impressed.
feel like in the profit potentials at the moment, like I say, as the time of this recording, February 26th, is like I'm getting two instructors in that class. But my point in bringing up this topic, for folks tuning in, listening in, thinking, what is this profit potential? Like, how could I look at somebody's chart and coach, guide, consult, help them understand how they're genetically imprinted, wired to be materially successful. So, as I understand it, just so folks understand, you need to have taken foundations and
And certification.
all the way
You should have
through.
started the certification course because there are some basics that you should know.
Right.
And if people are interested along the way, like after semester 2, the institute will give an exception for them to start advanced courses if they really wanted and they had the energy for it. But yes, the
Mm.
prerequisite is that you are certified as a BG5 consultant for you to be certified as a profit potential consultant as well.
I love that. So by the time somebody graduates and becomes certified as a profit potential coach, they really have a tremendous amount of depth and experience and training. And it's a beautiful curriculum, beautifully co-created by multiple sources, including, of course, all of it is based on the original source from Ra, the 64 Material Ways, his money course. It's just a great fusion of that knowledge. And yeah, it really lights me up because here I am coming with my 20 years of my social media marketing career. And the vast majority of my audience, they want to know how to make more money. So,
Yeah.
profit potential path
Yeah.
is a fantastic way to go.
Yeah. And Ron said, when he was teaching BG5, not specifically to the profit potential, but he said, only 4% of the population is here to wake up. And
That's
when
right.
he was teaching BG5, he said, not everyone is here for a spiritual awakening, but what we know with this knowledge, we could just help them in this
Mm.
business world that's driven by material success. They
Mhm.
don't have to be awakened to all these different modalities. We just provide them some practical solutions. And if they choose to apply them, they're going to benefit from that. And the profit
Yeah.
potential is even taking that to a higher level because there's something wired into us that creates material success easily for all of us.
Mhm.
And a consultant who has studied this can help others understand, okay, how can you attract this into your life and find the right clients in the environment that you're supposed to be in, and then how can you serve them with the gifts that you have. So we have this framework that we look at in this certification together, and it really helps first people to hone in where they can be successful, forming their niche actually, because when you try to do too much, it's just you don't get anything. Maybe. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're an expert. So also honing down on the right, tapping into the right points and using the benefit of what can come from using those in their businesses.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful.
That's
I love this. Oh, it really lights me up. And thank you for putting that piece in there. It's just clarifying about what Ross said about the 4%. Yeah, yeah. We were both just speaking at the International Human Design Festival. I led a session about social media and marketing, and that part came up about not everybody's here to wake up. And so you just kind of gave me a little aha moment there that we can reach beyond the 4% through the BG5 application, through this business application of human design and the profit potential and the OC16 and the Penta. And so,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
I love it. What I'd love to do now, because I know that you have a whole other venture of your own, I believe, with your husband and a whole software team and a whole group of people that you have brilliantly fused together synthesis of human design, BG5, other assessments, coaching, and you offer a software platform as well as certification credentials. I think you mentioned your ICF International Coach Federation credentialed. This PathKey, this new software. I'm saying new. I don't know how new it is because software can take a long time to really build and get out there. So help us understand what this PathKey is all about.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Marie. So it's my passion to develop this now. We have been working on it for 2 years, and we've launched like in May time frame is when the platform was ready and we started our launch. So it comes from my experience and my passion to take BG5 into the world, but not everybody is willing to take it.
Mhm.
Yes, and because I come from corporate background, like if I go and speak to an HR, like a cold call, or we have an appointment and I start talking to them about BG5, but they are not in these rounds, they're not ready yet, they will not entertain the discussion, right? They don't want to take it,
Mhm.
something that works with a birth time or date.
Yeah.
So the doors can be closed because of this. And I was
Mm.
looking for a way to bridge this. So how can we get in the door? Because if people give the permission for us to start coaching them in this, they're like, wow. They're really like, wow. Now, first, they're like, how do you know this about me?
Yes.
Oh, I never thought of that. Well, thank you, right? It happens when they can really give the permission to start. So, and the problem was they wouldn't give the permission. Some people do. I do get customers, of course.
Mhm.
But how could I take it to more people? Was what I wanted to do. So what we did was, and it came through some invitations through customers as well, that we merged several well-known assessment tools.
Mm.
Uh, and then we also get people's birth time and date and place. And we merged it with BG5 and rewrote some algorithms in the background. So now when we want to go to like a school, an institution, or when we want to go to a company and say, here we have this beautiful thing called BG5 that we want to help you with, we go in with something that's larger, that has the assessments as well. And they're more prone to say yes to an assessment tool that
Mm.
is delivered by coaches or a workshop where everybody gets a personalized report for themselves after they have done the assessments, and people are more receptive to hear it. So along the invitations, we ended up designing this for ourselves. And then once it was created, it was birthed. I'm like, I want to offer this and I want to share it with the community, my students as well.
Mhm.
So then is when we started looking into the certification. How can we empower consultants out there to use this if they wanted to open doors? And then once they're in the door, they can offer all the other good services that they have been trained in through the BG5 or human design realms. And that's how, it came to where it is. We have 25 certified consultants right now, and we're localizing in some languages. We also have an ICF-accredited coach certification program that's on the side, and we have one for human design professionals. Yeah, so it was my answer to some of the problems I faced while going
Mm.
there, and it seems to work. So I really wanted to share this with the ecosystem and be of service to all the BG5 consultants out there. We share the similar passion of wanting to take this into the world, and it's not easy, but
Yeah.
this tool really helps.
So I know what you mean because there's just so many. There's the Myers-Briggs and the DISC and the Strength Finder, and I've done them all. I've been fascinated by assessments since I was like 15, and and human design just nothing compares to the accuracy of it. So this sounds like this beautiful tool, this program allows for that, like you say, the easier entry, the door opens. So then with the path key and the different, I know there's for individuals, there's career, there's team, there's
Yep.
leaders. So it's not asking the birth data?
It does, but it does as part of the assessment. Uh,
Ah,
and
okay.
it, and we state like if you can give us the right birth time and data, you're going to get the information is going to be very accurate to help the individuals. So there's a statement there, and so far we had no problems. Everybody just puts in their
Beautiful.
date because they want some accurate understanding of themselves.
Yeah.
And it just goes smoothly. And the good thing is, when we send the links for assessments, we can work with multiple people. So I could work with 50 people at once. We do a lot of manual work with the
Mm.
BG5 working with the software, preparing our slides. These are not that automated, although there's a lot of help from the Institute. We have toolkits and everything, but it requires manual work.
Mm-hmm.
This way, everybody gets their own reports. We're also building some dashboards to look at the teams without doing manual work into the platform in the workings. And we not only do we have this report. It's not just the report. We also have the workshops ready for in the certification, so people don't have to create something of their own. We have all the sales documents, the pitch documents, because we come from sales backgrounds. We know, like, we put in our know-how there to help everyone. So it's not like you're certified and you have learned something new and you don't know what to do with it. We did our best to share as much from our knowledge with the ecosystem and everybody who's willing to be part of that ecosystem. Very good traction. I'm so happy and so hopeful, right? The business world can benefit from the beauty of BG5 through this tool that the platform that we developed.
That is amazing, Banu. So this is a beautiful vision that it basically, like you say, solved a challenge that you were experiencing yourself, knocking on doors and well, it was, having the invitations come to you as an advisor and presenting the possibility of how BG5 could really transform businesses. Like you say, you're maybe talking to HR decision makers, and as soon as you start talking anything remotely like astrology and birth data, they're like, "What? No, no." So I,
Only that, it's a no. If it's included, it's like, oh, it's something new and it's different because they're used to everything old that's out there and
yep.
they're a little bit tired of it, but there's no alternative. So
Hmm.
this is close, acceptable, and it's new. So there's a higher percentage of saying yes now when we go and speak
I
to
love
people.
it. It's beautiful. It's a great synergy, and it seems incredibly complementary to the BG5 Business Institute, right? It's there
Yes.
to add on and to augment if someone was going through the BG5 training and becoming a certified consultant, the BG5 or the OC16 or the profit potentials that we've just been speaking about. And then I'm curious about your the coach certification. So tell me just a little bit more about that, the ICF, and what do people come
Yeah,
through and
so
do?
we did this with my husband, who also comes from corporate background, but he's an ICF accredited executive coach. So we were, and there was a lot of interest because he's in those communities of accredited professional coaches, and
Mm.
he also became certified in BG5 later because
Oh,
we're
wow.
doing this.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of interest. Yeah. And then we ended
Mm-hmm.
up developing the platform for ourselves. And the question was, all these friends of him being so interested in this, can we take it to them in a
Mm.
way? So the challenge was they don't know human design. So they're never going to be or BG5. So they can never provide the services like somebody certified from BG5 Business Institute can. But
Sure,
we
sure.
said they can tailor their coaching to who they're working with.
Yeah.
And ICF accreditation coaching requires they are not directional, so they can't do consulting or say, okay, this is your design, or they're not allowed to do that. They ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. There's a methodology that's used. But we
Mm-hmm.
said we can empower them by integrating what human design brings into their coaching. So, like, ask somebody questions they can respond to. So, if the professional coaches can use this, right? And then watch for signs like, is this person energized? Are they leaning forward? So, we're teaching them all these
Mm-hmm.
nuances of how they can coach better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have a snapshot of the client before they can start working with them and what the client brings. They can coach accordingly and they can give them this report afterwards. And it's ICF approved and accredited our certification. So we also reward ICF continuing coaching education units with our
Mm-hmm.
certification. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like introducing this professional coaching community to BG5 as well. And there
Yeah.
are many of them. So I'm hoping in time they'll be more and more interested. They will want to provide such services and then they become students of the school.
Yes.
So we have more BG5 consultants out there who can properly offer like BG5, design analysis and all the other tools that are there.
I love it. I love it. I'm curious because you're in Luxembourg, formerly from Turkey. Is that correct?
Yes, I was born
Um,
in Turkey. Yes.
Languages. Tell me about languages on the alignment key or the. career, the
Yeah.
PathKey software. Are you doing different languages?
Oh, yes, we are. We are currently working. So we have Turkish and English available right now. That's in, it just works now. We
Hmm.
are doing translations to German and French. We are also working on Bulgarian and Serbian because we had partners who wanted to localize it in their own languages. So those are the ones that are in the works right now. And we want to give access to the maximum number of people. And in some countries, it's important to have the local language.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we were blessed because we when we launched the certification, there were so many people who came through both professional coaching and our ecosystem through the human design professionals that they really wanted to work with us on this. And our system is, to work together to do something good in the world. And the partnership program is benefiting everyone that's part of the ecosystem. So this wasn't about us, right? We could have hired a few people and said, this is our platform, we're going to sell this individually. That wasn't the go-to-market. So it's something we do together. So stronger together is our thing. Yeah,
Yes.
so localization going as well and launches in many countries. Yeah,
Beautiful. Awesome.
thank you.
Um, 2027 is a lot of people that are exposed to human design are familiar that we have this big global cycle. This coincides with a physiological mutation that
Yeah.
humans are shifting, evolving, transforming. I loved how Ra called us this interregnum species. Won't go too far down that rabbit hole for the BG5 conversation. But what I wanted to address is the global cycle change, shifting from that planning, everything we've known for 4 centuries, as shifting into more of this individual busyness, this background frequency that's very, very different from what we've experienced. What is your personal take on the future of business, commerce, money, even?
So obviously we're already feeling the shift in how things are changing, but remembering like these are 400-year cycles. So
Mhm.
it's like thinking about what humanity did in the last 100 years. Yes, that's our, known past. So
Mhm.
there's going to be a lot of change. And we're already feeling it, like people who don't want to just commit their lives to some company or some organization anymore.
Mm.
People are questioning why they are here. And I am, as an individual, I'm here. The younger
Mhm.
generation is more successful in that, I
Yes.
think.
Mm.
They're even more strongly feeling about their individuality, and I'm here. We feel it with the newer generation that's out there. So
Mm.
my take on what's gonna happen with the business world is businesses will have to adjust and honor the individuals that are contributing to them.
Yes.
It will no longer be okay, my way or the highway. I pay you
Mm.
a salary and you give everything, you give your life, all the hours, waking hours you have to
Mm.
me, because the people who are working for such organizations are going to be more vocal about it. They're not going to want it.
Mhm.
But there's going to be adjustment.
Yeah.
Although in the long term, we know like the systems are really going to change. It's not going to be immediate.
Right.
Is my take on it. It's very hard for like big things to adjust to new things, right? And they're
Mm.
not going to want to. So the organizations we talk in OC16, we talk about the transorg entities who take on their own form. So these
Mhm.
organizations, although they are made out of people, they're an entity in themselves. So they're not going to want to disappear. So they're going to hold on to wanting to stay around. Yes, they're built for material success, these
Mhm.
organizations that are there. This includes like banking systems, it includes the governments, companies, all of that. They're entities in themselves. And they want to be successful. So they're going to understand like this human component of my business is needed. And we'll have to adjust in a way. So it's going to be win-win in the long term,
Mhm.
where more people are getting their way as well. Yeah. And
Mhm.
AI is helpful in a lot of ways. I know there's a lot of fear around what AI will bring, but
Mhm.
adaptability is an important thing at the individual level as well. So if we can adapt to what AI cannot do, in
Mhm.
terms of that, there's a lot of things that humans will be able to do. We've just forgotten all the important things. Yes, we became machines in ourselves. so much concentrated on what we can do with our minds. We can leave that to the AI and enjoy being human in our work as well. So I think it's going to shift.
Mm. Oh, beautifully said. This actually brings tears to my eyes because it's such a refreshing perspective to think, oh, we don't have to be in fear. The future could look phenomenally satisfying, successful, peaceful, surprising, like you say, and we can even more so individuate and have this genetic expression of this lifetime that I've incarnated in this vehicle to be able to be all that it came here to be and not have it being squelched by these large, small, medium, large organizations who just, yeah, like you say, just don't treat their employees well, or you know, that saying, it's like the customer's always right. Well, what if you're having this experience of your own decision making strategy, your own inner authority going, I this I always feel frustrated working with this particular client. Well, that might be your body giving you a signpost. It's time to let them go.
Yeah.
What if you could just have clients that light you up and that satisfy you? And then what you just said about the AI, yeah, because I know a lot of fear about job loss already happening, major layoffs, and you know, were you thinking about the sleeping phoenix, or I guess she'll be waking a waking phoenix? It isn't going to be like whatever exact time it is on February 15, 2027. The Ides of February is like tick, 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 boom. The whole world is like massively. Wow. I mean, I think I'm going to set my alarm and feel into the shift, but it's not going to be like flip a switch and the entire world is radically different overnight. I love how you referenced like 100-year span of the past, because it's like we could think, you know, okay, 1926, what was the world like then? It takes time for really major global changes to roll out, and I think we will see potentially differences in the finance, the money. I think maybe the digital currency, the crypto. It's not really an area of my expertise. It's on my to-do list to study it a bit more, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, and I like your very grounded and healthy perspective of what's potentially around the corner. And honestly, Banu, I think you and your team and your husband are, with what you've created with this PathKey, the software, the coaching, and being extremely experienced and beloved, successful instructor at the BG5 Business Institute. I think that someone like you are really in pole position to take advantage, but to really to offer the world, the business world in particular, so much more that people can have hope for the future.
Exactly. Yeah. And me being the advisor that I am, so um, as an individual in just one body, I can be limited. But if I use my advisor power of being able to coordinate, orchestrate, and create systems, then I
Mm.
can create ripple effects. So that's why it was a yes for me to teach, because if I can really teach well the consultants in my classes, then maybe I can have a coaching session with a couple of people in a day. But if I have so many consultant students and they, we can serve so many people to understand their design. So that's like creating a ripple effect. And now with our
Mm.
PathKey platform as well, it's not about us. We are
Mhm,
creating a
mhm.
system of consultants who are really passionate about taking BG5, and I want to be an enabler in supporting them in this mission.
Mm.
And that's what I can bring as an individual.
I love that. I love that you just use the word enabler. It's like a very positive use case of the word enabler. I'm super curious. Just my mind's curious of what type is your husband?
He is a classic builder, 5-1,
Ah, okay, okay.
and he
Yeah.
has the same incarnation cross as me.
Really? How
Yes,
perfect. Oh, that sounds like a
yes,
wonderful, wonderful union. Um,
yes.
just getting close to the end of our chat here today. I would love to hear from you personally. Remind me how long you've been a teacher at the BG5 Institute?
It's been a little longer than 6 years now.
Okay. And involved in your experiment for about 10 years.
10 years
What,
now.
in your experience and perspective, what is it that sets the BG5 Business Institute apart? Like, why should people learn from the BG5 Business Institute versus POP HD?
There are a couple of things that really come to mind that I would want to speak to. Number one is at the Institute, we stay true to Ra's teachings and adapt it to today's business world. So that's very important that we're keeping to the source. It's not like giving new meanings. Oh, I think this is what he might have said, and this is how we can apply it. So that's really important, sticking to the source and preserving it, but adapting it to today's business world. Because it's sometimes hard for people to resonate with the wording of human design. So the wording and everything is well thought of and is tested with clients out there. So that's important. And then people who choose to study and go into the certification. So we don't talk about self-discovery. Although people discover themselves in the sessions, you understand yourself very well. I always tell my students, you will be your first client, because we teach how to consult with this information.
Yes.
So it's a consultancy certification, the BG5 consultancy certification and the advanced certifications. So it's not just learning the information, but being able to help others. We have frameworks, we have toolkits. We discuss these in our classes. How do we intake customers? How do we talk to them about this? It's more than a self-discovery course.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's important. Otherwise, you just learn something and you go out there. Okay, now what?
Yeah,
Right? But
yeah.
we take care of that during our classes. So those are the important differentiators that really stand out for me.
Yeah. I just reminded myself of something that occurred in class yesterday with you were explaining how you like to integrate the buddy system. So teaming up with a buddy, which I always love. I like doing that. I've studied a lot with Dr. Andrea Reichel-Wolf at the IHDS and in the differentiation degree program and the dream rave and holistic analysis and all the things. And yeah, I just really enjoy having that interaction with the buddy. There's accountability. There's be able to collaborate and learn more deeply. And then you and Michael Brown commented on this, that you take it even to another level where you're having the buddies kind of almost like treating you like, okay, you're my first client, and so like preparing the analysis or the consultation based on your buddy's design. I think that's really clever.
Yeah, so really applying the knowledge is what makes the difference. And
Yeah.
we want everyone who goes through the system to feel confident and to have tested it out, right? Because you work with your first client, you want to make some changes, how to manage the time, did it resonate? Was it too much? So just being able to go through this with somebody from class, although it's a different design, it just gives more comfort, and, practice makes perfect as well. So I think, when I started implementing this, I thought, my students get to work a little more
Yeah.
than what the curriculum is. But I just don't want it to be theory. For me to be able to apply it, to make it practical is very important. So I think it's a better way of learning where we can also support each other along the way.
Yeah. I just feel like I literally only just started several weeks ago now taking classes from you. And I every time I think I was saying this to someone the other day, like every class I take with Banu, I just love her even more. I just so enjoy your style and your frequency and your clarity of the way that you explain logically. It just really sits well with my style, I know. Um, Real quick, remind me about Ra teaching BG5. You mentioned that he taught, how did he teach BG5?
Well,
He
it was
taught
a
it like,
separate class. I think he taught it like 3 times.
okay.
And it's been some maybe 30 years ago. I don't remember the exact date. I'm not into details. About
Yes.
30 years ago. He taught it up to 3 times, where he actually worked with, of course, people who were already trained in human design.
Mm,
And we have all the scripts, and that's how the slide sets and what we teach and the frameworks we use at the Institute were developed based on his teachings. OC16, he only taught once.
mm, mm,
And he said, I'm just going to teach this once.
mm.
And he said other people are going to come and they're going to filter this through their own consciousness and adapt it in other ways. And he was very curious about how that would happen. So
Mm.
I'm also very passionate about teaching OC16 and doing it with the people in class, because they all came to filter it through their consciousness, and we're developing new things together into how we adapt this knowledge to today's business.
Yes, yes. I love that. Yeah, beautifully said. Well, we certainly have Ron to thank for all this, and it is a beautiful application. And I've just loved having this fireside chat with you, Banu. Very, very fortunate to learn from you. So BG5businessinstitute.com, folks can go there to explore. There's free resources, free charts, free reports, and then just see if you want to embark on the learning path, starting with the foundations. And the Institute often offers things like free webinars. You can check out the YouTube channel. Banu, other than the Institute, where else can people find you?
Yeah, so our company is called Alignment Key. So alignmentkey.com is our website, and I can always be reached at LinkedIn, which it's a nice way to be connected on LinkedIn. So Banu Cetin is my name, or Banu at alignmentkey.com is my email. So feel free to reach out. I am very happy to meet people who are interested in this. Maybe you will get started today, maybe later. It's always nice to be connected. So feel free to reach out.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, what a blessing. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Mari. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation, for the opportunity, and just pleasure discussing with you and having this chat.
Yeah, likewise.